This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, but the real star of today's show are the Global Rallycross cars that are coming to iRacing. I believe we're in week 12. Next week is their off week, which is when we see the big updates. And rumor has it in the next update is when we are going to see the Rallycross cars and tracks added to iRacing. And if you think about it, in order to do Rallycross, iRacing had to completely open up their rule book. This wasn't as simple as just putting in cars and tracks. It didn't necessarily coincide with the existing system within iRacing. So it did take a lot of work for them to get everything just right. In addition, maintain that caliber of cars and tracks that iRacing is known for. So the course, the tracks, it is going to be coming out when it comes out with 4 different tracks. And they are actually infield courses. Oh, look, the sirens, the cops and the fire department are excited about Rallycross as much as I am. Anyway, but they do have these as the infield of certain established racetracks. For example, Daytona International, Iowa, Gateway, and Lucas Oil Raceway. I have permission to run on 2 of the 4 tracks. So tonight we are going to take a look at, Daytona and at Lucas Oil. So both of them are infield, which means if you own Daytona, you get the Global Rallycross track included as well. It's one of the layouts of the existing track. Beyond that, there are 2 cars in the beginning that we're going to see. Number 1, the Ford Fiesta. That one will be at a new fee. You're going to have to buy that car. And the Volkswagen Beetle, which is the one that Scott Speed runs. And if you know anything about GRC, Scott Speed is the man when it comes to GRC. And I think while I'm just showing you other stuff, I will go ahead and play this video as I just do a little more build-up on what's going on. But if you've watched or driven Rallycross, or watched it on TV or done any viewing of Rallycross, you know these cars are insane. They are monster horsepower squeezed into a very, very small body, all-wheel drive cars. They are rockets. And it is squirrely, it is twitchy, it is nasty, and it is good fun. You are running on tarmac, you are running on dirt, you're interchanging between the two and always changing the amount of traction on the car. I can tell you from my driving, they are touchy. You touch the brakes and it locks them up. You got a little cross steering and you're going the wrong way very, very quickly. So, they are a lot of fun. Scott Speed is, I guess, as excited as I am about them coming to iRacing. So, again, I mentioned the cars. I'm going to go ahead and play a video as I talk a little bit more and get ready to actually jump in and do some driving. So, right here, what we're looking at now is just some prep footage, me getting ready. Here I am in the Fiesta, a couple different paint jobs. What we have in the beginning are 5 paint jobs for the Fiesta. In our real life, see, if you start watching Global Rallycross, and then the Beetle is Scott Speed's car. And then you can paint your own. So, we'll go ahead and take a look at all that stuff as well. When I'm driving, see it in full screen in my driver view, but here's a good opportunity to see what they look like out on track. Anyway, I am very excited about this. That's why I'm talking so long and just giving you so there's something about Rallycross that I love. I love the competition. They're going to have heat racing, all sorts of new rules based purely on these new cars. So, first things first, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the paint real quick. It's going to be a little tough for you guys to see, but if you know iRacing, you get the idea. So here we are on the Ford Fiesta, and then there are some pre-done paint schemes, like this one, this one, this one, this one, and my personal favorite, the King Taco. King Taco, I love King. I go to races just to eat King Taco. So that's what we're looking at. And then beyond that, you can just go ahead and do any kind of paint job you want. Standard template format for my racing. Like right here, I'll give it sort of the Simpit look. We'll put some Simpit logos on it. Thank you, iRacing. I don't know if you guys realize this, but they did add the Simpit logos to the game. And we can put my car number. I'm not that stuck in my car number. But just to give you an idea, that is, standard iRacing templates. Same thing with the Beetle. Let's go ahead and just drive. Let's go ahead and go out at Daytona in the Ford Fiesta and see what things are like. Echoing, you know, I have had a, bear with me, I'm gonna have to look, something changed on my system once again, and I don't know what it is. For some reason, my system has been jumping audio. I am changing headphones tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to look into that. I did notice a hint of an echo during the Saturday show, and I wasn't sure if it was me or not. If you watch the show, you know why I'd have doubts. Alright. So, can you guys see everything? Okay, I hear the echo now. That's really making me mad. If it becomes horrible, you guys let me know. Alright, so we're going to go out in the Ford Fiesta. Gets through the gears very, very quickly. And it's, even with all-wheel drive, these things are so high horsepower, it's very easy to break traction. I got my best lap up right there to compare against. You do a lot of steering with the throttle as well. When you change surfaces from the dirt to the asphalt, you can hear my tires just lighting it up right there. And some people had asked about the e-brake or handbrake. That's one spot you do need it on this track, or would use it. I'm going to turn my volume down. I feel like I'm yelling. So this is the Daytona Infield long. Right here you're on tarmac, right here you transition right into us, and you have to get off the gas right away. You want to go flying off the jump, but you got to get controlled and straight. And then you got to slow it down for this corner, which is so much slower than you would think, and then gas it. But you can just hear how hard it is to get traction. A little touch of the e-brake just to get it to sling the rear end around. There's also the Joker lap when we talk about what they had to do to break the sim open. Oh, a little wide there. You're constantly using the gas pedal to catch the car right at the right moment. You get the balance of the car matched to the throttle. And the more throttle control you have, the better you get traction out of the corner. If you touch the brakes too hard going the wrong way, you will break that direction. The cars are super quick. You get on the tarmac, you can see they just take off like a rocket. Hard on the brake, they like to lock it up. You gotta get them slowed down. And you can use that gas, and it's still, even though it's all-wheel drive, it still will get a little bit loose. And then right here, it's just so delicate and easy to swing wide like I did there. Got to get the car turned before you can get back on the gas. Right here, if you get on the brakes too hard, you will cross it up and go the wrong way. Too far inside, swung it wide there. Do a Joker lap. So once per race, you would take what they call the Joker. I'll throw some e-brake into that one, a little too much of it. And it's the shortcut. And you do that once per race, and it's a strategic thing. We'll talk a little more about that later. If you do that just right, you get the car to swing all the way around that corner. You're almost drifting at times. I'll try to drift turn 1. This isn't how I'd handle it, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. And you will see people driving rallycross cars like that. I prefer to be a little bit smoother on them. Whoa, you get into that side, you gotta correct. The minute you make a mistake, more so than in most racing you're gonna do, you have to get into control mode. You can see I'm not doing it better than I did earlier in that capturing video, but I am talking. I was flying. The handling in the dirt, for anybody who's ever done any kind of dirt driving, even if you just took your civilian car off-road, whoa, is exactly, it's so predictable. I mean, it is slippery as can be, but it does exactly what you'd expect every time. And you can see there's actually a lot of rhythm, so even though it's off-roading, even though it's crazy cars, I'm not slowing down for turn 1 enough right now. Now this is still pre-release, so this is not 100% final. Really good run through that section. Sometimes slower is faster. So hard to get traction. So hard to get traction in that dirt, getting on the gas. So much horsepower. You can see you're on the wheel constantly counter steering. And again, these are expected to be very short, very quick races. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. Oh. Alright, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the replay. Their cameras have still not been optimized, so let's not be too critical of the camera angles. That was something I was told about. Oh, let's go back to where we were going faster. And you can see this is one of the paint your own templates that'll come with the car. I like this one. You can see how much the car just keeps sliding and sliding. You want to get on the gas, but it doesn't. It's just so twitchy. You get on the gas and it starts moving around and going different directions, and it's hard to stay exactly where you want on the track. It starts drifting wide. The graphics on the car are incredible. Lots of moving parts. Great roll bars. Vents. You see the like, I believe that's the air conditioning, or it actually might be cooling the oil in the back there. Those are actually, that is what it is. I think that's where the radiator on this car is in the back. Another thing I like is if we look at the rear suspension. You'll see it lock up. There it was. That was that little touch of the e-brake button I used there. The point system I don't know just yet. I've heard that there will be a different point system for the car. And that's also going to include the fact that there will be heat racing, and I don't know how that'll play out. Like, and it might even be something they, depending on how many people are there, could affect it as well. It's going to be very hard to run these without contact, because I can tell you right now, if I was right there and someone tapped me, I'd be in that outer wall, just like that. I love it. That is such a rocket. Alright, now that we did that, let's go ahead and load up the Beetle and run the Beetle at Daytona for a little while here. I believe it's going to be 6, but I don't know for sure. Alright, let's switch cars. Let's go to the Volkswagen Beetle GRC. And here, same thing on the paint. So here we have, I believe this is Scott Speed's car here. We'll go ahead and run that one. Jimmy, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, again, they're going to have to open up that rule book. They're going to have to make some changes to the way iRacing does things now, but I could see them coming with stage racing for several reasons, whether it be rally or just like point-to-point stage racing. Alright, same track in the Beetle. They just sound nasty too. You can hear when you're on the acceleration and you have traction just how quick these things are. If you're gonna brake, you have to brake early and you have to brake light. You stab the brake and it locks it up and the car will slide. So you can see right there, I got no steering when I lock up the brakes. So you do have to brake early. You have to keep the car in control, number 1, and then bring the speed on, number 2. Right here, if I hit the brakes too hard, the car is going to cross up and do funny things. I have to be very smooth. Now, this being such a severe corner, maybe beyond 180 degrees, I don't mind touching the e-brake, which I have mapped to this button. I'm going to do another stream maybe tomorrow using a different gear with a sequential shifter and a handbrake. So I'm braking a little early, slingshotting it through that, getting straight over the jump, correcting before I do anything, slowing it down for this corner. And then as soon as I can get it straight and I can get on the gas, but don't drift too wide, no traction, just a touch of the brake, more brake, e-brake, gas. Gotta put the body English into it or you're not racing. Not as good a line. Not bad there though. Oh, touched that. Oh, and I hit that one. Off the wet. Oh, that's gonna be ugly. Let's get a look at what Sean did wrong there. On it, on it. Little too sharp there. Oh, and just tagged the barrier off the jump sideways. Not what you want to do. Some nice damage to the car right there. You know, it's hard to compare this to RBR on one hand because RBR was point to point, and it you don't necessarily know the track to perfection unless you just ran it every single day. Yeah, Tom, we'll go take a look at the garage as well. I'll bring that up right now while I talk about RBR. So this is different. It's much more precision than RBR. So here we have tire adjustments. Again, keep in mind, you guys, this is not the final version. I'm on the iRacing Alpha, which it's quite a privilege to be able to show you guys this even. But, you know, so we can move our weight forward and back, anti-roll bars, brake pressure, spring height, spring rate. bump and rebound camber caster, fuel level, ARB, blade length and diameter, toe in. Looks like we have the ability to adjust our gears, our launch RPM limit, clutch plates front and rear, so you have both differential adjustments. So you can see there's quite a bit of tuning that is going to get into play. I'm just running on the default set, and I gotta tell you, it doesn't feel terrible at all. It feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and do another run. Let's see if we can find a little more speed. And what I also want to do is do another Joker lap, but try to do a better line through the Joker. Yeah, so I'm glad you asked about the handbrake, because I actually did mean to put a handbrake on. And yes, the handbrake is a variable. So if I go here and I click on it, you can see it's ready to take. In fact, I'll map my clutch. So right there, I just turned my clutch into the handbrake. Ah, and you see a little yellow line. That's new right there. That's on the brake. That's half brake instead of brake. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna go. I can show you this and Lucas. So those are the two of the 4 tracks that I can show you tonight. So let's go ahead and try doing that. Oh, I unmapped a control in the clutch, and to be honest with you, I want to back exit the list. Yes, just do these. So what I've done, and then I need my handbrake back to there. Done. I don't care about look up, look down. Larry, that's a good question. I haven't tested a whole lot. I have the fan attack. It works adequately. You know, you can get into some of the hydraulic. I might have a line on testing a Pro Sim handbrake coming up soon, actually. I'm sure that'll be worlds better, but, you know, at 10 times the cost. So, right now, my real feelings on handbrake is it's so rarely used unless you're doing drifting, which I don't do much. In the case of this, I've been pretty happy with the button click. I don't know if I'd necessarily need it, but tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and fire up a handbrake and a bump shifter, which is a little more authentic to driving these cars, and we'll give that a shot. Getting back to Richard Burns' rally and the handling, though. Okay, so the cars are squishy. I'm going to just show you guys some of what I'm feeling. I'm going to overdrive the heck out of the car right now just so you can see. Right there, I stabbed the brake and it really pitched the car. The physics off the jump is what really sells me. That moment right there where I touched the brake and it wanted to kick to the right because I had right input on the wheel right when I locked up the tires. It's right there, that's all rear steering. The traction is just nasty, but man, you hear that motor going. Something tells me it's just hard to get that kind of traction when you're talking that kind of horsepower. Onto the tarmac, it hooks up a lot better, but it's still got that squirreliness, but it's savable. Braking is solid. When you get it down, it's very easy to get the brakes a good point, but I will show you next time I'll overbrake. You can lock them up. That's even on the tarmac. Again, on the dirt. If I lock it up, I get no steering at all. I can almost steer the car with the gas pedal. And again, the e-brake, just a little tap is enough to send it around, and then use the gas to finish it off. I kind of made a mess of that one. We'll try to drift turn 1 again this time. See the smoke flying off the rear tires. I love it. So it's very natural. It's very intuitive to anybody who has a lot of Richard Burns or rally or dirt experience. You hear that lockup and how the car dove straight. We're doing all right here. We're just kind of messing around, overdriving the car, but in a cool way. I'm going to go to Lucas next. We'll do that in just a moment. All right, let me get serious again. Do one decent lap and then one joker lap in the Beetle. See, if you come in hot, even here, you can just touch that e-brake just to make sure it turns into the dirt. That's not the way to go. This track is very big by comparison to Lucas, so just to show you guys what we're looking for. Oh, don't hit. Somebody had asked if the barriers move. Oh, I meant to hit that one. I'll hit this one here. And the answer is yes. And now we should have some damage. Somebody asked about driving with some damage. Actually, let's hurt it a little worse than that. Let me get sideways off the jump. So if you don't get squared for the jump and you come off the side, bad things happen. I think there will be some trading of paint. It's going to be very hard to run in the dirt side by side, and if you have done the oval dirt racing, when you're in a good group and you can go side by side, it's an amazing thing. But it does take trusting the people you're around. Getting through these corners side by side, inside and out, can be done, but it's going to require trust and skill. So it will be a big deal to drive these in a group you're comfortable with. But again, that's when it's going to be as good as it can be. So one more time, I want to do the joker lap, and I want to do the joker lap one more time. Once per race, you'll be able to take the joker. So normal way around will be this long way. And think, if you're starting in the back and you want to try to make a big move on lap 1, you could use that joker lap and jump up a couple positions right off the bat. Or you could save that as like your last minute play and be able to... Come on, come on. Oh. When I can get the traction down there, it makes a big, huge difference. Overspun that. Let's do the joker. Now that guy was ahead of me. And look at how much of a difference. Now the ghost jumped at the sector. But you could see I was about 10 car lengths ahead, taking the joker. Oh, overdid it. And then it's all about correction from that moment on. Oh, no, 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 Sean. That's not what you want to do. Right there, I got some good power down. That's a nice job through that corner. That's the angle of attack you want. One more time through the joker, even though we wouldn't do it twice in one race. Oh, went a little too wide. It's all about saving it when you make a mistake. Gotta get straight. Oh, no. Not a bad recovery. Now we're back to normal. Alright, let's see something. So yeah, you can see, oh, we got smoke out of the engine. Car does not want to turn, or it wants to turn one way more than the other by a long shot. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. This thing's a nightmare now. Oh. All right. Poor Beetle. Poor Herbie. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Lucas Oil Speedway Infield Rallycross track. Really love the sounds of the car. I love the tires squeal. Something sounds just really right about it to me. It's not too excessive, and at the same time, the engine sounds are just great. Alright, so here's Lucas Speedway, known oval. Look at the configuration. We now have Rallycross. Let's go ahead and go with the Fiesta again, and then we'll come back to the Beetle again to finish things up. So, Ford Fiesta World Rally Car. And let's try a different paint job. Let's go with this crazy paint. And Lucas Rally Fiesta. Yeah, Rob, something went weird. I think what's happening is my blue Yeti is coming through on main audio, which it didn't used to. The wipers work. I don't know if that has anything to do with rain. That's a bold statement. It could be... No, it wouldn't be instantaneous. I'm not sure. Luckily, it's minimal. Otherwise, I'd stop things. Alright, so here we are at Lucas. And you start over here kind of off the track a little bit. And then you're around the oval. And you really see how fast this sucker is. And then you come into this corner, and you do have to slow it down quite a bit. It keeps turning in, and then we dive into the infield. Oh! And then it's a 90 left, right. This second one, it's really hard to not hit that outer wall over there. Really got to get the car slowed down and turn off the jump. And then a long, drifting dirt corner, which you can go quick on, but the minute you get greedy, it goes to the inside. And then right here, this is awesome. Oh, I missed my mark. You do a 180 back onto the oval. And you can't just go full throttle. I went wide there. I got to push because I was over speeding the corner. You got to slow it down. And then kick it in. Whoa! Yeah, that was good. That wasn't bad. It's this right-hander here that just kills me. Into that wall, but I saved it. I got it. Now, if you touch the brake with your wheel turning there, you are going that way. You almost have to focus on getting the car turned more than slowed down. I slowed it down a little more than I had to there. Whoa! It's such a tough corner. I love it. See, I do use the e-brake more here, but the second you slide that rear, you gotta know you're gonna keep turning and sliding, so... Whoa, 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 whoa! I had to stab the brake! Oh. What that was the wrong gas off the jump, and you gotta get that right too, which is very true to rallycross, off-road trucks. When you come off the jump, how much momentum your tires and wheels and engine are doing are a factor in your car's rotation and landing. And you definitely have to take this into consideration when you go off the jumps here. Oh, into the wall. You can also try to do the long drift. It didn't work too well that way. I gotta start that earlier. It could be done. I wouldn't call it the fast way. Oh. My ghost is beating me. It feels more properly balanced. It feels more properly difficult, if that makes sense. I mean, I put a lot of hours in getting ready so that I'd know what I was doing out here and not be driving like a, you know, ditz. It's hard to take it back to where you, like, don't have that initial beginning feeling. There's nothing generously helping you here. Can't do that on the wall. That will not be good over the course of a race. Do the drifting one. Woo! I have it on no driving aids, and I notice if I just stay flat, it won't shift sometimes. That's what you're hearing, is me trying to shift and not get it. But that's me not doing it proper. Alright, this time I'm not going to use the e-brake. I'm just going to drive it without the e-brake. I did use the e-brake there, by the way. Oh, Joker lap is right here. Thank you. Whoa, whoa, it's a harder one. Ah! In this case, the Joker lap is not necessarily an advantage. I should have given that a little bit more anticipation. Thank you for catching that, though. It's hard to see on this one. Alright, well, good. Ah, that wall again. So the Joker lap is right here, so we go. just remember, when you get in here and doing it, the minute you've made a mistake, don't worry about anything but recovery first. I had to be really tricky with the braking there, by the way. I had the wrong angle of the car. Alright, let's do another big drift. Just because it's fun. Oh, too much. These cars are very point and click when you get the control down. Once you get the feeling of the steering, like this looks like I'm just moving the wheel around. I am fighting the resistance of the car. That, I'm feeling what I'm doing. I'm not just moving it. Oh, hit the wall. So it's not just flicking and moving. The car Scandinavian flicks just like you want it to. A lot of push when you get that power down. Oh. Okay. I love it, Tom. That's a great one. Again, let me just do some overdriving so you guys can get to see how the car reacts. Off the side. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's ugly. I didn't mean to do that. Poor Ford Fiesta. Alright, let's go back and just get a little replay. Again, when we watch the replay, keep in mind these are not the final cameras, so don't pass judgment on that. Oh, there's one of my drift efforts. %, on the DD. I don't know if I could do that. No, the car definitely, you know, and I spend a lot of time watching the GRC guys, and as much as you see them kicking out and getting twitchy and doing sideways, for the most part, they are trying to keep it to the... Look at how much loss of traction I'm getting. And you need to really tone that down. You want to set a fast lap. It's going to be about getting the traction down and keeping the car really settled nicely. And even though you're off-roading, and yes, these are monster horsepower with great recovery, the better you drive them, the quicker it is. You saw when I skipped the e-brake and just went with the controlled corner, it was the fastest way. There are times to slide it, though, for sure. I do love watching the roasting the tires here, though. The visuals on this for me are great. Oh, got a little damage there on the front, looks like. I do love the visuals on the game. I love the car. Oh, that's the lap that I forgot where the Joker lap was. This was a nightmare for a while. Love that little Fiesta. It seems a little smaller than the Beetle. I don't think this is a good camera angle. I think that's one they're going to change, so forgive me. That's not their fault. It's not a matter of fault. It's something that's going to be changed. Look at that. I love it. It's so Rallycross to me. If you watch this on TV, this is exactly what these suckers look like when you're watching them on television. So I'm very impressed with the handling, really impressed with the sights, the sounds. It's the real deal. I'm having so much fun doing it. Yeah! Oh, into the wall a little bit. You can see it wanted to lift that inside front tire just like you'd expect out of these little stiff cars. That left is so hard, or that right, I'm sorry. Alright, let's go ahead and give the Beetle another shot, and then we'll bring this stream to a close, and We'll do a redo. Just so you guys know, I'm using the Thrustmaster TGT steering wheel. I've got the Sparco XW wheel rim, which is almost like that rally wheel one they have, but that one's round. And I'm using the pedals that come along with that wheel as well. So good wheel combo. I'm just using this button right here for my E or hand brake, depending on where you live. There you go. You can see it locks up the rear tires really nicely. Ooh, that wasn't a very well done one. So we'll do one more round at Lucas in the Beetle, just so we can get a little different sight and sound. Yeah, go down to the VW. We'll try a different paint job this time. Oop, not the Jetta. That would have been funny. I'd get in trouble if I did that, I'm sure. Yes, I have done this at VR. I did it at SEMA in VR. They, the guys from iRACING, Kevin and Otto, came along and were doing the VR version of this. Alright, that looks cool. Let's put some Simpit logos on there. If you're in iRacing and you haven't done it, be sure to put Simpit logos on your cars. Even if you use trading paints, put this on the underbody so that if anybody not using trading paints is in the room, they'll still see the Simpit. There you go. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm going to see. I don't know if this rig will accommodate getting them high tomorrow without adaption, but I'll at least get them on there and maybe get them up high. I'd like to see them right here. I've watched the videos of those guys. I'd like bam, 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 e-brake, yeah. Alright, let's, did I save it? I think I did. Yes. Test car on track. Lucas, Beetle. Nope, I've only tried these two tracks. So Daytona long, because there is a short version, and Lucas Oil Rallycross, the version we're playing right now. I am really loving this car. It's hard for me to know where I'm going to race because I have to divide my time up so much, but I can tell you when these come out, I hope there's a good crowd and I'm going to get out there and run these for sure. Alright. Alright, first few laps I'm going to stay away from the e-brake except for on the big turn. Oh, missed the corner a little bit. The more you can turn for that corner in advance, the better you are. Too much gas there, I tell you, it'll flip you right into that inside wall really easily. We'll do one more, no e-brake, or minimal e-brake. It's such a sharp corner, it's hard to see. I don't mind going a little inside at the beginning, because I'm going to slide outside. Trying to get the traction down nicely. Joker lap. So on this particular track, it certainly isn't an advantage, and I dare say it's even a disadvantage. So it's like a penalty of one turn lap. At Daytona, you could see it was the opposite. It was a total advantage. Oh, missed my shift. I was trying to get traction down nicely. Turn, turn, oh! I'll use a little e-brake this time. Oh, I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot. And into the tires. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Absolutely, you can, Stu, and I think you're going to find a lot of different driving styles when it comes to these. And I can drive both, and if you missed it earlier, we were doing some full-on slides through the corners, like just all e-brake and hanging it out there like a drift car. Hey, Empty Box, how you doing, buddy? So, for example, I'll just use the e-brake a lot on this one. Oh, too much, sorry. I was a little too fast. I didn't slow it down at all. The difference for me is when you do the e-brake, again, think about what you're doing is you're locking up just the rear wheels. So we can even see it on the video. I'll do it right there and you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll go back and look at the rear suspension and see what happened to the car. Same thing here. When you lock up just the rear wheels, it means they're going to slide. The front ones will maintain their traction. So again, let's go back and look at the replay and look at the rear suspension. And you'll see here, I'm going to get a touch of the brake. It's going to lock up the rear, make it swing around. But the problem is, once it starts swinging, you now need to bring on the gas to catch the rear end is the best way I can explain it to you. You just, it's sliding, you get the wheels to where they're going to the same speed, and then all of a sudden traction comes again. If you stay off the e-brake, then you don't have to find that traction again. Hopefully you always stay in the traction. And what you'll find on even a track like this, where that first turn, well, I guess this is turn 1 right here. I'm not sure where the actual recorded start-finish line is. But what you have is this corner just keeps sharpening. You're coming wide, and then right here, so even if you just use just a touch of the e-brake just to finish it off, sorry, that barrier, I'm explaining what I'm doing right there. But you can see, you can use that e-brake just to get that last minute pitch. I mean, you can even do it here. Whoa, that's dangerous. Don't do it there. If I was using a bunt shifter with a variable, that could have worked better. Ah, now I'm hitting barriers. I don't use the e-brake on the infield section nearly as much as just slingshotting the car around. Have we picked up a delay? That's alright. I was pretty much getting to the end of this one. I think what I want to do is just get out there and give one more serious run, and then we'll bring the stream to an end. I'll be back doing some more tomorrow using a sequential and a handbrake. That outside wall comes so fast. Yeah, for sharper turns, it's nice. Oh, I was too late. This track is a lot harder to get the timing down on than Daytona. Daytona has... Oh, that's the wall. There's even an art to bouncing the walls, to be honest with you. Getting the car squared up so you're not going to hopefully do much damage to it. Yep, that's about how you want to do it. Alright, let's go ahead and get a look at that replay, and then we'll bring this show to an end. And we will be back tomorrow. Lots of streams tomorrow, too. We're going to be doing our practice for sim racing systems. Tomorrow's Attack the Track night at 6 o'clock, not driving these. So we'll have our live stream daily show in the morning. Sometime shortly after that, we'll probably do another session of this just to show you what it's like using more of a proper handbrake and using some Fanatic equipment instead of Thrustmaster. Just so you can see how much difference, and if it looks any better or worse. Shouldn't make a big difference. They're both very, very good brands of wheel. I don't anticipate a big difference there. The braking, I seem to have got pretty well down with these pedals, even though I'd prefer a load cell. But the handbrake, it'll be interesting to see. Right now, using a button means I have to time the amount of time I'm holding the button for lockup. It's all or nothing versus just being able to do a straight up. Oh. I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen on the tarmac. Someone asked about donuts. I gotta get it started better than that. Yeah, this thing is really grippy. You just gotta get it started. Okay, we've had our fun. Oh, how come my hand's not out the window? So there you have it. My first look at the Global Rallycross cars coming to iRacing in the next build. We are all going to be able to run these together very, very soon. I had a great time driving these, as you can see. It is a completely different discipline of racing. It is nothing like road racing. It is nothing like oval racing. It is most like oval dirt racing, but there's so much more to it because you're doing left and right, dealing with a lot of weight distribution. And that's what the whole driving, and quite honestly, to an extent, driving this is almost an education on how to drive other types of cars. You get a handle on this, and a lot of what you're doing with these cars you're doing on microscopic ways with a regular car, just always keeping it a lot more in control. These let you step out so nicely, and they collect themselves so nicely, which is part of what makes them such a pleasure to drive. So anyway, that's going to do it for this stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you are eagerly anticipating these coming into iRacing as well, because it is going to be something new for us all to participate in and have a good time with. So we'll be back tomorrow with more Global Rallycross from iRacing on the Simpit. And for tonight, I'm Sean Cole. This is the Simpit, and I'll see you on the track.